I finally got this thing lowered on coilovers, but one thing I cannot stand about the car is these tiny, disgusting looking little brakes. So I decided to make a pretty substantial upgrade, and we are going with some badass 6-piston Wilwoods. Oh gosh. And we got stainless steel braided brake lines to go with them, and they do not skimp on the stickers and decals. There is a sheet of stickers in with every single box, including the calipers and the pads, and the stainless lines. As much as I love how these rotors turned out, with the interior portion of them painted black, these are probably the original rotors. They have just a tiny little bit of a lip on there. If I was just changing out the pads, keeping the same calipers, I actually probably wouldn't swap these out, but I went ahead and bought some new ones because I don't want to have to adjust my new caliper and pad setup according to this freaking lip on this rotor. So new ones look pretty badass anyway, and it's always good to swap in fresh stuff if you're doing big changes like this. And I don't see that many Corvettes with the Wilwood package on them anyway, so it's cool to be a little bit different. And the stainless steel braided brake lines are going to be a massive upgrade too. Those old rubber lines, when your brake fluid gets hot, they start getting really spongy, and then that's when you get the brake fade. So it's not just aesthetics. It's way more than aesthetics, but that is certainly a bonus. Caliper bolts, by the way, are 22s. So along with this bracket, we get new mounting hardware as well as shims. The shims come with the mounting bolts that mount the caliper to the spindle, but we also get shims to mount the caliper to the bracket. So it's recommended that we start with one shim for the mounting point and one shim for each stud. The shims for the caliper itself will push us in or pull us out in order to get the caliper centered on the rotor, and the shims on these studs will push the caliper out further, so we want to make sure our pads are lined up flush with the outside edge of the rotor itself. Probably should do this without the rotor on, huh? Not worried about torquing these down just yet. Just want to make sure we're firm so we're accurate for our spacing. Then we'll put some Loctite on and we'll make sure we're set up permanent. I looked these calipers over pretty thoroughly to make sure I was putting them on the right side, but I don't think there's a left and right. I think in the early days there was. What leads me to believe that is there are two bleeder ports, one on the top and one on the bottom. Obviously, when you get these installed, you want to bleed your brakes from the top port because air travels up. But this would allow you to flip sides. You could install it either on this side or on that side of the car, right? And your bleeder port is going to be on the inside of the caliper on the top, no matter what. So I don't think there's a left and right. A lot of these 4- and 6-piston calipers will have inside and outside ports. These just have inside, so I guess that simplifies the bleeding process as well. But yeah, we're going to put 2 shims on each of these studs and see if we can get this caliper centered. Now for centering the rotor in the caliper, we probably could do this with the pads in, but we're just going to make sure there's the same amount of distance here as there is here, and that way we'll know that it's centered. It looks pretty damn close by the eye at this point, but we'll take a measurement and then we'll put the pads in and we'll make sure we're far enough out this way so the pads are again flush with the rotor there. I think it's right on the money. It's as close as we're gonna get. First one is done. Completely installed, torqued down. We got the stainless steel line put in. This is a little bit of a nightmare. It's very tight up in here to try to get the original line disconnected and this one in place, and because the bracket has to be customized, it's kind of annoying, but we got it. I'll show you on the second one how I was able to make that work. Remember, I'm not a professional or a mechanic, so don't look at this as a how-to, but I'm making it work. Looks fairly close there. I'll take a measurement. Just almost 3/4 of an inch. And this side is exactly 3/4 of an inch. I'm not sure if it's even worth putting a shim in this one. once we get the pads in, we'll see if there's excess rubbing when it rotates. But I think for now, we're pretty much, that's pretty damn good. Well, for the next part, we need to put the pads in to make sure we have the spacing correct there. And we have to take these little pins out. And in order to do that, we have these little retainer clips in there. So if you got a skinny little needle nose, you can pop them out pretty easy. Oh, that's nice. They send you more of these little retainer clips because I'm sure they assume that people will have them flying all over the place. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's worth it. By the time I tighten it down, I think that gap will disappear, to be honest. Now, it suggests to start with one shim on the caliper bracket itself, which would push the caliper out this way. But we want the top of the pad to be flush with the edge of the rotor, and we are. So I don't think I'm going to add a shim. I didn't add one on the other side. I think that's money right there. So it does take a little bit of prep work to get the stainless steel lines ready. These come with NPT fittings, so you can't use the factory banjo bolts on this particular caliper. Not a big deal. They come with compression fittings for both ends. So this, I've already screwed this end in here, but this fitting is the one that goes on the brake line side. And then this fitting, it comes with a 45-degree. You install this here, and then this connects to your caliper. Now for these MPT fittings, they're tapered, so they get tighter and seal up the further in you go. You don't have to screw them into the caliper that far. Wilwoods suggests 1.5 to 3 rotations once you get it finger tight, but make sure it's pointing up. Well, these fittings, they do say to use 2 rounds of Teflon tape, but from what I understand, there really aren't any Teflon tapes that can withstand brake fluid, so I'm not sure why Wilwoods suggests it. Go ahead and follow their instructions, but I'm actually using a hydraulic and brake fluid resistant pipe dope, essentially, or thread dope. There's a couple of different brands that make this stuff, but Loctite 592 was highly recommended on some of the Facebook groups and forums, talking about NPT fittings used in brake calipers, so this is what I went with. You wedge something between your seat and your brake pedal and put just a tiny little bit of pressure on your brake pedal. It'll prevent all your brake fluid from leaking out the brake lines. One thing that is kind of annoying is that this little bracket that holds your hard line clamps your stainless line in place is straight on these edges here, which does not accommodate the round end of this new stainless line. You can't fit it through the opening, so I had to use my little Dremel here to sort of round this out. You can see I rounded that out there, so now it fits. All right, brake light installed on the passenger side, calipers in, everything's secured. Loctite put on the caliper bolts. Just a little bit of red Loctite, and Wilwood provides that. Well, it's time to bleed. Got this small plastic tube that fits nicely over the nipple here so we can see the bubbles come up. The problem is that the little nipple nut here is like 5 or 6 millimeter, and I could not find a 5 or 6 millimeter wrench anywhere, and I don't have one, so I'm just gonna have to use an adjustable wrench. But that's the one inconvenient thing about these Wilwood calipers. Otherwise, they're sick. Okay, pump them like 3-4 times, and then hold it all the way to the floor. Holding. Did it go all the way down? Yep. Okay, pump them up again. It's got lots of air. Okay, push all the way down. Lots of bubbles, that's good. Okay, pump. Hot smart bubbles, K-pump. Dribbling around the neighborhood a little bit, just doing some low speed braking to make sure we got some brake pedal feel. Probably end up bleeding them again one more time, but so far so good. That's just to make sure we're all good and there's nothing loose. But now I actually have to go through the bedding process since we have new pads and rotors. Get up to speed and break these down. Okay, pretty good brake pedal feel actually. Definitely make sure you do this when there's no one else around. Oh yeah, there's lots of bite. Oh, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Oh, we're even locking up the front tires. Hell yeah. Getting a ton of front tire bite. These 6-piston calipers are grabbing the rotor hard. This is awesome. Hell yeah, I'm pumped about this. One more. Can you hear it? Holy cow. Seems like we're getting good contact across the surface, top to bottom of the rotor. That's a good thing. We'll get this thing out and cleaned up tomorrow and get it in the daylight so we can get a good look at what the new calipers and rotors look like on the C6 Corvette, but I'm pretty pumped right now. These new Wilwoods calipers look absolutely fantastic, but they seem to be functioning perfectly too. I can't wait to finally get some wheels put on this car. That's just going to set everything off. Now, inevitably, somebody's going to say, why don't you just go with the Grand Sport or Z06 calipers rather than getting real Wilwoods? And I will say that that was my original intention, but trying to find a nice set that didn't need to be rebuilt and cleaned up and painted is pretty difficult. They're all very, very expensive. I mean, we're talking well over $1,000, sometimes $1,500 for a used set that requires a little bit of work. Plus, they got to get new rotors. So, you know, we're going to be well over $2,000 into it on a used set of brakes. I just decided to go with Wilwoods for the same price, and they're brand new. That was my reasoning, my justification, and besides that, I don't see a lot of Corvettes out on the street with Wilwood brakes. Obviously, there are a bunch of people that have done this upgrade, but you just don't seem to see it all that often. So I'm pretty pleased with my decision. I might have said at the beginning of the video, I don't recall now, but my original intention was to have blue calipers on this car. I think I still might go that route. The black looks pretty dope, but they just don't stand out enough for me, so I think we're gonna have to make a little bit of a change there. But for now, I'm really pumped about the upgrade. They seem to have been bedded in nicely. They function great. They get a lot of bite on these new rotors, so I'm pretty pleased. It's not too bad of an installation, but you definitely need a Dremel tool or a nice file because you have to remove some of that material from the hardline bracket in order to fit the new fitting from the brake line in. Not that big of a deal, just another step in the process you got to make sure you go through. It is definitely sitting just right now. Those silver coilovers and the 20mm spacers make a huge difference with these factory wheels. Stance is perfect, ride is great, handles perfectly right now. I got to get this thing out on the road onto some twisties and see how she does before we get the new wheels and tires because, you know, we need a before and after. Appreciate you guys watching. More stuff coming for the channel. We got to get this thing out on the road, so stick around. Appreciate you watching this one. See you in the next one.